Hi there, welcome along to another video for you to row along to. So today is week 2, session 2 of the PDP plan. And what we've got in store today is 4 8-minute intervals at 28 strokes per minute with 5-minute rests. Your pace is going to be around about 2k plus 5 to 6, which is going to be an effort level of round about 7 or 8 as a starting point out of 10. And you might rise up to around about 9 by the end. You might tickle 10. This, as you can tell, 2k plus 5 for 8 minutes is going to be very much a mid workout today, okay? So this one is here to test you but not destroy you. Now I say this because what I'm trying to get across is it's supposed to feel hard, okay? So it's not a bottom to your workout, it's supposed to feel hard. However, it's not supposed to destroy you. So it'll take you to a really tough point, and then you'll get your 5 minutes of rest, and then you'll be able to recover to do it again. Remember, the same thing happened in week 1 when we had the 5-minute rest, okay? So the toughest part of the 5-minute rest is having to put up with my chat, okay? So let's get into our 4-minute warm-up. I'll talk a little bit more about how the intensity level, let's call it, when we're on the warm-up. So start off by setting the drag factor on your machine. If you don't know about drag factor, I've finally got what seems to be a stable video about drag factor sitting up here. Set your monitor to eye height so you don't have to look up and you don't have to slouch down, and set the foot straps so that they cover either the bottom lace in your shoe, or if you're in bare feet or socks, they allow you to comfortably hinge forward at the front. Okay. A bit of a longer intro today, eh? So, run about 18 strokes a minute for this 4-minute warm-up in 3, 2, 1, go. Nice, gentle, easing warm-up. Now, this mid-level workout is a mid-level workout, okay? So, it's not one of the easier mid-levels. So, if you feel you want more of a warm-up, then please take one, especially if you think a longer warm-up would help you with a 28 strokes per minute workout, so you can try and get the stroke rate up. So, like I say, 4 8-minute intervals at 2k plus 5, which is pretty much your around about your 5k PB pace, is going to be very mid-level, okay? There's going to be a lot of fire coming out of that chili. So, from a speech point of view, this isn't going to be one of my constant streams of chitter-chatter. I'll make sure and keep you company, but there might be longer gaps than normal. Now, still going to do the single leg and arms and body part of this warm-up, so like I say, if you want to restart this and do another 4 minutes, then please do. Okay, one more stroke, and then let's take a foot out and then continue with one leg. Now this should prime you into the right position at the front, and then a solid drive from your leg that's still in. You should feel the hips opening a little bit, and you should get a good extension at the front without having to hyperextend. Swap feet, please. Do it again with the other foot. And make sure to still get that solid drive out from the front. Nice straight arms. One more here. Both feet back in. Legs almost straight. And then just rock back through the hips and pull in with your arms. Make sure and just think about finishing with your shoulder blades squeezing together. One more here, and then we're going to reverse it, straight arms and legs only. Like I say, this is the key, right at the front. Just hitting that catch with straight arms. Hearing that whoop as you get the flywheel to accelerate. That straight arms and leg drive with the forward lean is so important. Last stroke. There we go. So like I say, if you feel you need to continue warming up, keep going. Or just keep on moving up and down the rail, have a drink. Do what you need to make sure you're warm, that's what I'm saying. And I'm just going to quickly explain once again what it is that we're doing today. Right then, so once again, what we're going to be doing today is 4 8-minute intervals with 5-minute rests. Right, so before I get into the pace, let's have a look at your monitor. If you want to set your monitor to row this along with me and try and keep in time, then what I want you to do is set up 4 8-minute intervals, but when it comes to the rest, select undefined rest, okay? What I'll do is I'll put up another little video somewhere that you can just quickly refer to just so you know exactly what that means. Right, so anyway, so back to pacing, etc. So we're going to be doing this at 28 strokes a minute, and your pace is going to be 2k plus 5 to 6. Okay, if you're looking at an effort level point of view, then you're really going to be starting off around about kind of 8 really, and then you're going to be going up to 9 and just tickling 10 by the time you get to the end of each interval. But then you've got a 5-minute rest to recover and be able to get into the next interval, which you'll start at 8 and then you'll go up 9 and maybe tickle 10 again. Now what's going to happen is as you get to the 3rd and 4th interval, that rising up to 9 and tickling 10 is going to happen sooner and sooner. But I want you to hold the pace that you believe is 8 out of 10 the whole time. So if you start off at 155 thinking that's 8 out of 10, I want you to hold 155 all the way to the end. And you 2K 5 to 6 people, I want you to hit 2K 5 to 6 and hold your 2K 5 to 6 until the end. And if you're just going by speech, then, well, you're not going to be saying that much, so just make sure you're just continuing not to saying that much. It's a really woolly one, that one, but you get what I mean with this one. So anyway, follow me for stroke rate. Remember, 28 is quite fast. Now it's all about getting that handle away and getting to the front again. It's not about jerking back and forward, okay? So this is a longer bridge in between the warm-up and the main session, because I want to make sure you're all ready to go, that you've set your monitor, and that you've listened to each and every one of my caveats. You ready for this? So 28 strokes a minute, 2K plus 5 to 6, 8 minutes, and then 5-minute rest afterwards. So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. I'm a bit silent right now until I get up to my 28. I'm gonna 27, 29, 28. And pace is spot on. So hopefully by now that's 30 seconds in. You'll be following along with me for stroke rate. Your pace will be 2K plus 5 to 6. There we go, 1 minute gone. Now, what might happen if you're not properly warmed up is that this first interval will start to sting quite quickly. But don't panic. What will happen is you'll get through to the end, have your 5-minute rest, and then interval 2 will feel a lot easier because you're fully warmed up by then. Now remember, I want you to keep a nice fluid stroke up at these 28 strokes per minute rates, okay? Part of which is about releasing the handle at the same pace you pull it in at. But really get it away from you without a pause in between. And that forward momentum helps get you back to the front of the machine, nice and quick, ready for the next stroke. If you're using the momentum and shifting mass of your body, 28 shouldn't feel too fast a stroke for you. Halfway there on this first interval. Keep your pace up. Keep your stroke rate up. We're going down the other side of this first mountain. Of course, all my talk about recovery is not to forget about the importance of a solid drive. But in many ways, a solid drive at 28 strokes a minute should take care of your pacing. I'm not overly pushing with my legs, but it's certainly up there. So it still is a slightly faster drive than the recovery. So you let the recovery take care of just a little bit of, well, recovery. 2 minutes to go. This shouldn't feel too top-endy for you. But don't be tempted to push faster than the pace guide. Just because this one feels easier. You've still got 3 more of these to go. And trust me, You'll need every second of the rest periods in between. 1 minute to go, come on. Finish this one strong. Don't let your pace dip below where you started. If you have a concept too, make sure your monitor is set on the bottom half of the screen to show average 500 meters. And don't let the average of your interval fall below your pace plan. 2 strokes to go. Last one. There we go. So take these 5 minutes to have a little drink. Continue moving up and down the rail a bit. Let your body recover. If after you've had a drink, if you want to pick up the handle, do some light rowing, do some light rowing. And if you've set, let's see, if you've set your monitor just as a just row to follow me along, then because of these 5 minute rests, you'll find it'll probably turn off after, I don't know what it is it a minute, 2 minutes? So you have to keep on pressing a button on it to keep it alive. If you've set the 4 8-minute intervals with an undefined rest in between, then the monitor will stay live, but in order to tell it when you're about to start, there's a button that says, I think it says next interval or something. With about 10-15 seconds to go on the next interval, press that button. Okay, now I'm not always going to remember to tell you to do that. I'll try and remember to bring up an image that says push the button to remind you to push the button on your monitor to do it. But hopefully, the more you do this, the more you'll get in tune with it. I mean, you can, if you want, you can set your monitor to have the 8 minutes, 4 8 minutes with 5 minute rest in between. But the problem is that when I start, my monitor will start counting down. When you start, your monitor will start counting down. If there's like half a second to a second difference between us, then what happens is the next interval, we're like a full half second out. And then if you do that again, then it could be almost 2 seconds out. So I say go and you're still counting down and it's like, or the other way around is that yours has started and I'm still going 3, 2, 1. So in order to guarantee we match up together, this is why you do the undefined rest thing. And then when at the end, when you look at it, you'll see all 4 of your intervals and etc. So if you're a data junkie and you like to see how you got on, especially if you're going to come back again and do this workout another time, you want to compare workouts, then that's how to set it, is with the undefined rest. Yeah, there you go. That's the end of that spiel. It's not a good sign really if I've run out of things to say. We've still got 2 minutes 20 to go. I've not run out of things to say, don't worry about it. It's a Friday evening right now, and you know what that means. If it's a Friday, that means it's spaghetti night, spaghetti bolognese. Huge plate of spaghetti bolognese, some garlic bread, and maybe a couple of beers to go with it. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's a celebration. It's how we know it's. Well, not how we know, but it's the sign, it's the trigger to say it's the weekend. Especially right now when, again, hopefully we're going to come back to this and you'll be like, oh yeah, remember lockdown? But we're still in lockdown right now. And so because we're working from home and things, got absolutely no idea what day of the week it is. So at least Friday, we know when it's Friday because we have spaghetti and a glass of wine. Without that, we'd never know what it was. My life is run by food. But it's the worst place to be. Oh. I've started doing that thing where you cook your pasta and then you put it in your colander sieve, whatever, afterwards. So you strain it into that, and then you still you put cold water over it to instantly chill it, and then you pour boiling hot water over again to raise the temperature back up, washing off the starch, and it makes it healthier for you. There you go, there's today's tip. See, I'm not just about rowing, I'll also give you tips for your food. Right, so we've got 25 seconds to go. That is my brand, that's the problem. It's like not even like I'm off brand. My brand is Food and Rowing. So if you're going to do a rolling start on here to ease yourself into it, pick up your handle and start doing some light rowing and try and match me at when I say 0 and it start to go, okay? So in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So straight back up to 28 strokes a minute. And your pace should be what it was before. 2k plus 5 to 6, or whatever you picked as your 8 out of 10 effort at this stroke rate. I want you to be there already. This isn't one that you benefit from for having an ease into. Because you've got a whole 8 minutes at quite higher intensity, so you might as well benefit from it and not hide from it. Right, 1 minute down. So, if you were one of the people who suffered a little bit in the first interval from not being warmed up, hopefully this one will start to feel a bit better. However, you might find it'll end a little bit tougher. Make sure and control your breathing. It's hard to do when you're talking, but hey. So, how about a quick technique refresher? First up, I want you to spend a few strokes concentrating on having straight arms as you drive out, and only bending the elbows as you pull in to finish the stroke. And then once you've done the pulling in, concentrate on pushing out the handle to straight arms again. Always nice and relaxed. Even how you hold the handle, nice and relaxed. It's not a death grip. Hook your fingers
over the handle. Thumbs underneath. Thumb and forefinger lightly touching. Halfway. And then just take a moment to consider how high you're holding the handle. You see the red tape at the front of my machine? That's my guide for how high I want to be at the front with the handle. And I don't want the chain to go too much below that. Which means you're not finishing with a handle up at your throat or in your lap. It's finishing more sternum height. And then we try and send it back at the same height. Again, on the water rowers, we'll probably be tapping down like this. But let's leave that to the on the water rowers. 2 minutes. Now I tend to imagine there's a tabletop in front of me and I go over the top, underneath, over the top, underneath. But it's a very thin table, okay? We're not talking Middle Ages, 8-inch thick oak. We're talking cheap and flimsy IKEA tables. IKEA or IKEA? What do you say? I know the Swedes say IKEA. As to the adverts. However, most people I speak to say IKEA. Right, 40 seconds to go. Come on. Don't back down. Only got 14 strokes to go. Keep powerful. You got it. Come on. 7 strokes. 6. 3, 2, 1. Good job. So, I didn't do my heart rate check for you at the end of the last interval, but just finished 10 beats higher, so I was 150 at the end of the first interval and 160 just then. Now I've got a max heart rate of 175, so I'll let you work out the percentages. But I'm not going to max, I'm going to top end. I'm figuring probably past anaerobic threshold. But, I don't know, threshold, yes, but going on, it's confusing because anaerobic is like pretty much instant, complete overload of your muscles and things. Whereas although that feels, I'm sure if someone to write down, did you go anaerobic? They'd be like, oh yeah, I totally did, that was awful. It's just top end aerobics. And that's, you don't go, but it's probably at the cusp. So, where if you're doing that at 2k pace, by the end of it, for that 8 minutes at 2k pace, well, to be honest, if your 2k gets you, is it like a 2 minute, no, I don't know where I'm going with this. If your 2k pace is 2 minutes per 500, so you'd finish it in 8 minutes, then that's your 2k pace. If you were to do it at that, so. But if I was to do that with my 140, say, 2k pace, then I'd finish my 2k at 6:40, and I'd still have another minute 20 to go at 2k pace, and that ain't gonna happen. Because as it is, if I'm at 2k pace, how many times can someone say 2k pace, 2k pace, 2k pace, 2k pace? Yeah, when I finish a 2k race at that pace, hey, that rhymed, hey. Anyway, I'm on the floor afterwards, so there's no way I could squeeze out another minute 20 from it, so anyway, that's why, to be honest, this is why I don't talk about heart rate-based training. It's because I tie myself completely up in knots. It's not something I've ever really investigated, so someone has asked for information about heart rate training, and I'm really not the guy. I could read stuff on the internet, and I could kind of fudge something together for you, but you don't want to fudge. When it comes to trying to improve your fitness and your training on a machine, you don't want someone who just kind of fudges it. It's like a pilot. You don't want a pilot who fudges it. I'm not saying that my rowing is the same as my teaching you how to improve and stuff. That's not the same as a pilot flying a plane. He's a lot more skilled and got a lot more responsibility than I have. Or she, sorry. That's a ridiculously sexist way to put it. They are a lot more skilled and responsible than I am. I can't even get my gender politics right. Anyway, so that's why I don't. But then this is why everything training based for me is all pace and stroke rate related. So you do a session, so there's a defined session versus rest, stroke rate versus pace, and they all come together to create the sessions. And you don't have to refer to heart rate so you know what zone you're in and stuff. You just know that you're taken to certain points because your 2k pace is effectively your max. So 2k plus 2 is slightly less than your max. But because it's slightly less, you can't do like a half-hour row at that. So you always have to kind of stretch and pull. There is method to how my sessions are set up. I don't just randomly put them together. I promise. This haircut is still causing issues. With basically the perspiration runs down my shiny forehead and into my eyes. Anyway, right, so interval 3 coming up. If you're going to do a rolling start into it now. Make sure and try and match me at 0. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Interval 3. So again, I want you straight back up at pace and stroke rate. If you missed the first, if you kind of fell out of time with me at the start because you weren't going fast enough, then make sure you're with me now. Now what you should find is the start of this interval should feel better than the last one. Just Everything's firing and purring away. However, you'll probably fall off the cliff and start to find it's getting tougher a lot earlier than in the first 2 intervals. That's okay, because that's the point of this session. It takes you up so you taste what it feels like, but then the interval stops before you consume too much of it. That's what session 4 is about. Two and 6 are just about exposing you to just a little bit of excitement. Kind of like licking a 9-volt battery. You get that little electric shock. Please don't do this, really. Just in case it causes a problem for you. But you might lick a 9-volt battery, but you wouldn't lick a main spline. It's not really a very good analogy for my mid to top structure, but I started it, so I might as well finish it. Regardless, once you start to feel the intensity level creep up, I don't want you to back down. Stay with me for stroke rate and for pace. If I can do this while talking to you, you can do this. Says he as he stops talking. 4 minutes to go. Let's talk legs. Make sure when you're at the front, at the catch, that your shins are in a vertical position. Definitely not past it. And if you can't get to it, or if you can only get to it by lifting your heels really far off the foot plate, I recommend some flexibility exercises. But once you're at vertical and you're ready to initiate the next drive, get those heels down, and press into the foot plate, pushing the machine away. And a nice, solid, full leg drive. I don't want you stopping early at the front or stopping early at the back. Put in an entire leg drive. 2 minutes to go. And then on the way back, wait for the handle to pass your knees, and then bend your knees, and that's how you get to the front of the machine again. All the time focusing on a forward lean to a back lean. Forward, back. I'm trying to stay in a forward lean for as long as possible. Through the drive and the recovery. Making sure that you're always rocking through the hips rather than just bending from your lower back. Whew. Come on. 14 strokes to go. This one's definitely tougher from a cardio point of view. Two more. Last one. 166, finishing. So that's starting to put me within 90% of max. Which is a good sign, really, because it shows I'm doing it right. You're meant to be up there. I mean, this is only 35 seconds in. My breathing's calmed down, heart rate's down 26 points. It's 30 here. Body's recovering because you're just climbing that point to the peak of the hill, and then you stop and then you recover. But then what happens is, whereas in the first interval your climb is quite easy and then you get up and then you stop. Next time it's slightly sharper and you stop. Next time it's sharper still, and then the last one you get there quite quickly and then you stop. So, and it's all about, like I say, it's exposure to intensity or hardship. It's kind of getting there you ease yourself through it, which helps with your kind of everything from technique to cardio to fortitude and stuff. And then towards the end, that's the part that really then lends itself towards actual 2K racing, because you're starting to get quite ragged in terms of breathing, your muscles are starting to kind of fire, and you have to push through it. You get to a point, or you maybe get to a point, I mean, I've not yet, maybe in the last one, you never know, but or actually hopefully not in these, let's back off that. Hopefully in these you won't get to a point where you feel you have to give up. That's what I'm skirting around, is that you're always just, like I say, just tasting what it feels to get to that point, but you don't actually feel like you have to slow down or give up. It's like you think, right, if I slowed down right now, it would make it easier. That thought might go through your head, goes through my head. I kind of think, you know what, this is starting to get at the top end. I know if I back off a little bit, it'll be easier. But then the other part of my head goes, what's the point in that? Why are you even here today if you're going to just back off by a couple of seconds? There's no point doing a mid-level workout today if you're just looking for an easy ride. Go back and do the 26 strokes a minute, 3 times 12, because that was a walk in the park. And that's just, I could read a book while I was doing that one. Excuse me.
Whereas today's session is about improving the mid-level part of you, that you can work hard for slightly less than you're working easy for, but you're working, it's like this, the balance. So you work easy for long, you work hard, or you work really hard for short, and then if you put them both together, you get these mid ones where you're halfway time, you're working hard, and just it all evens itself out. So that's how you get your 3 tiers. And yes, there's shades of grey or whatever in between them all. So you get like the mid to top ones, you get the very bottom, you get kind of bottom plus, and then the top ones, actually you get the top ones that completely leave you, like a 2K race that leave you just gone. But then you get the ones like last week's 8 times 2 minutes with 3.5 minutes rest. That's real top stuff, but it doesn't leave you destroyed because it's all part of the plan. And the plan is working up in intensity till the end of the 4th week. And you can guess what's going to happen at the end of the fourth week. And if you can't guess, well, let's let it be a surprise. I'm not going to say pleasant surprise, but it'll be a surprise. Oh, right. I think I covered most technique points. I'll try and go through a couple of wee refresher things on this last one, because when you get tired, it's when things start to just fall apart a little bit more. But we've only got 8 minutes. Okay, so we've got 20 seconds to go. Pick up your handle if you want to ease yourself into this with a rolling start. And then I'll see you in 8 minutes for a cool down. And I'll talk away to you for the next 8 minutes anyway. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Last interval. Straight up to there. Try and be at pace already, okay? If you can hit your pace in only 10 seconds, then it shows you're developing good skill on the machine as well. You're starting to know your body. You know what it takes, how much pressure you have to apply through the foot plates, and how strong a finish you need. Which is also another good reason for varying stroke rates, so you can get used to what your body feels like and take full control. Well, my quads are suggesting that I stop or slow down. Shut up, quads. We've only got 6.5 minutes. You can manage it. So that's what I mean. Your body will ask you questions. And it's up to you to give the right answer. A lot easier to do if you have a coach next to you. But if I'm your next best thing, then listen to me. There's only 5.5 to go. Keep thinking about those arms, straight at the front, over your knees,
straight. Don't bend until you need to finish the stroke. Relaxed arms, relaxed shoulders. Loose grip on the handle. Let the power transfer into the handle and let the air circulate around your fingers. Halfway, only got 4 minutes. They should fly by. Don't slouch your back. Keep powerful. And remember, your forward lean to back. Forward, back. Maintain that forward lean as long as possible before swinging your back through the hips and pulling in the handle and squeezing your shoulder blades nice and tight. 3 minutes. And make sure to get all the way to the front, shins vertical, and push the machine away with your legs. Come on, 2.5, you've got this. If you could do the first 5.5, almost 6 minutes of this interval, you have the last 2 in you. And here we go. 2 minutes, 56 strokes. No sprint at the end. Well, not for me. I want to keep this a mid-workout. And if I sprint, it'll tip over into top. Come on. Oh, come on, legs. Thirty strokes. 1 minute to go, come on. Keep your pace. There's no reason you can't. You'll be finished in 40 seconds. Which means that you only have 14 strokes. Count down. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Oh, finished. 168 heart rate again, so I think that's me taken to touching distance on interval soon 4. Okay. Hopefully you've had a drink while I've been heavy breathing at you like a dirty phone call. Sorry. Cool down? Yeah. Or warm down from hot. So don't go too fast, but what I want you to do is feel at least your muscles engaging in your legs as you drive back here, okay? And get the handle through nice and comfortably. Again, don't worry about over pulling at the end. Just make sure all your muscles are firing. Basically, this is a weak slow-mo row. So I'm doing 20 strokes a minute right now, and I'm 30 seconds slower. So I'm 228 instead of 258. Just as an indication of cool down pace. And of course, I'm only going to do 2 minutes, but you go on for longer if you need longer to just recover. Let your heart rate get down, let your muscles go back to happy. So that was week 2, session 2 in the bag. Of course, depending on what order you're doing these in, it might not be week 2, session 2, it might be week 4, session 6, who knows. But if you want to know more about the PDP training plan, then go to the website pdprowing.com. It's on there. There's also a link in the description on this video. Also tells you why I'm doing this and all that kind of stuff. If you want to know more about indoor rowing in general, go to indoorrowinginfo.com, where you can learn about other plans, apps, all that kind of stuff. And remember, there's a Facebook group based around this training plan, or everything PDP rowing, to be honest. So have a hunt for the PDP rowing Facebook group. And yeah, join in, say hello, all that kind of stuff. I came up with a perfect hashtag when we were, I think it was in the warm-up. Can't remember what it is now. Oh, that's annoying. Ah, nuts. Oh well, let's do, there we go then. Hashtag nuts, because I've forgotten what it was. I'll watch when I'm editing this back together later. I'll go, that was it. But for the time being, hashtag nuts. Still food related. Don't worry, when I'm not being rude. So yeah, still food related. Anyway, so thank you once again for being part of this. Thanks so much for subscribing and commenting and all that stuff. Like seriously, I say it in the comments enough, but the fact that you watch these and you comment is why I keep making them. If nobody was watching these, I think I'd probably have stopped doing them ages ago. So you're helping me, I'm helping you. This is helping me through my rehab of my shoulder. It's all, hey man, we're helping each other, kumbaya and stuff. And that's it. So anyway, I'm off to get a nice big plate of spaghetti bolognese and maybe a Corona. I've actually started drinking Corona just out of solidarity for them, because I'm sure their sales will have plummeted recently. Anyway, right, there we go. I've gone massively off brand again. Well, I haven't, because food and rowing. I hope you're all well. I really, everyone that I'm constantly in touch with through the comments, hello to all of you. Anyone new, hello to all of you. And I have no idea why I'm dragging this out. Maybe separation anxiety. Maybe I've spent so much time in your company now that I just can't bear to say goodbye. No, you hang up. You hang up. You hang up.